let's go into Honey's reading.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So I wanted to, just out of curiosity, was there a dark dog when you were younger? Was there, or would you understand like a dark or black dog?
I mean, here's the thing. I grew up between my parents and my grandmother's house, and she had a dog that was, what's that?
A lab? Was it a black lab? What was it?
It was a, what was it called? A German short hair pointer.
Okay, so that's what I saw in the spirit world around you.
Okay.
And I feel, were you close to your grandmother? Do you understand that?
Yeah, very. Yeah.
Because that dog is close to you too, because that love bond is always and forever.
She loved that dog. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what came through right away when you started talking. Like, we're still around her. We protect her. Is your dad in the spirit world, hon?
Yes.
Okay. He's a big, huge influence. Like, he takes a lot of credit. He's like,
good.
She's mine. She's doing, I raised her. And, he's like that. And I said, thank you. I'll let her know that you're around. And you feel him all the time, he said. And you've dreamt about him. Have you ever dreamt about him in particular?
He helps me with my readings every day.
Totally. My dad too.
Yeah. So I talk to him 5 days a week before I start readings, and he aligns the energy of the dead for me, turns up their volume and focuses their energy. So yeah, I'm regularly communicating with him.
Yeah, because he's he's taken full responsibility of all your strength and your warrior woman. Like, he just loved you. He so believed in you.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing to have. We don't see a lot of women with great dads, and a lot of them that come to me anyway. So
he was a fun dad.
Fun and strong. Just like believed in everything that you did. Did you used to paint a lot? I know this is a Honey reading, but
no, I know. My dad painted. He was an oil painter.
Okay, thanks, because he's showing me a lot of paints.
Yeah.
But did you finger paint next to him?
I finger painted at home. I did a lot of little art projects as a kid. I was into that. I just wasn't good at it. But my dad, after he passed, God bless him, I went through his closet and he had a lot of oil paintings of ex-girlfriends.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh. He was a professional ballroom dancer.
Okay, but he was a good painter too.
Yeah, he was actually very good.
Really good painter. So Honey comes in. I'm just going to open Honey's picture again on my phone.
Yeah, you can show it. I don't mind. It's fine.
I'm looking at the pictures. Great photo of Honey. I think this is my favorite photo. This one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it looks like I'm posing. I get paid for this. So I journaled. I got her photo yesterday and I started journaling. And what I do this occasionally. I like to write. And she's really, really talkative and with a huge personality.
Yes.
Like, a lot of animals don't have, they don't all not have huge personalities, but I find a soul is a soul. So when I talk to an animal, it's like talking to a dead person. There's no difference. Mm-hmm. I've had mediums ask me, it's the dead people that are showing you the animal and they're telling you about the animal. I'm like, no. I've always talked to the soul of the pet. Mm-hmm. And so she comes in and she says very strongly, I am love incarnate. I adore my mom so very much. I miss my mom when she's gone, and I could get somber and things can get a little hairy.
Yeah.
And she said, like, I can rip things, plants, cords. Have you ever known her to like get in the corner? Like, I see her standing in the corner. If she doesn't like to be left. I can promise you that. And she says, I do love, she loves your husband. She loves you. Don't get me wrong.
No, she loves Joe.
She loves Grandpa. She calls him Grandpa. She calls him gentle Grandpa.
Yes.
And she said, I am the first grandbaby. So is she the first? Yeah, she said, I'm the first grandbaby. And I am told this. She said, I've been told that I'm the first grandbaby. She said, I love Mama's mama. What does that mean? I said, oh, that's you.
That's me.
Yeah. I loved my mom as much as my mom loves her mom. She goes, I love my mom as much as, and she said, I see her dad in the spirit world. So she's connected to your dad in the spirit world, and he's responsible for her still. She told me that before you even, I'm reading this because these are my journal notes.
No, it's great.
And in many ways, I have cursive writing, and sometimes I can't even understand my own writing. In many ways, she's talking about your dad, very powerful. And there's one baby that visits in the spirit world, a child that visits in the spirit world. I don't know who that would be connected to. I had a tooth, 1 to 2 teeth. Has she had her teeth pulled, or did she have a tooth issue? Would you understand that?
The vet had wanted to do a deep cleaning, sedate her, and put her under for her teeth, but we told him not to.
Okay, good. I would say don't do that.
Right. Thank you. That's what I said.
Yeah. They don't really need it. I mean,
No.
Well, I'm going to finish your reading, then remind me to tell you about one of the first readings I had, the Maltese Beverly Hills dog.
Okay.
Because that'll be a good one for you. So she says, I like people food because I am a person. Do you know, has she ever eaten anything people? She said, I don't like going to the vet. She doesn't. No, she doesn't like going to the vet at all.
Loving people food, she sits there while we eat and waits for us to offer her some. But then when we put it down, she'll walk away. Okay. She just wants to know she can get us to do it.
Okay, that's good. She doesn't like the vet at all. And she doesn't like the vet that your daughter likes, just so you know.
Okay. We just switched.
Good. I'm more of a solitude kitty with the vet issue. I want to be left. And then she said, except mostly around my family. She said, I kind of make it known if I don't like somebody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
I stare at them.
Yeah, she does.
And she doesn't go to them.
Right.
And she said, but I do like creatures. She said, I like creatures.
She does.
I like mice. So I don't know if she's seen a mice or has pet mice. And
I hope
very
not.
Loving towards Joe. What?
I said, I hope not. I hope she stands at Sophia's sliding glass doors, which is to the outside, and she watches the birds and the little animals hop around.
Creatures.
Yeah, she does.
I don't think that she would actually hurt a creature.
Right.
She's very loving.
Yeah. She is.
When I was on with Joe, when he was checking the audio before, she came right in and she goes, I love Joe. I love Joe.
He's the only one that can clip her nails. She'll let him. She won't let anyone else.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So
he's
you
got
told
away
me
with
everything
cats.
I want to know.
He's a cat whisperer. He just is. He's always had that.
Yeah, he just is good with animals too.
Yeah.
Babies and animals, I would say.
Yes.
Do you have any questions? I mean, I could go on. I mean,
No.
I've just read.
So the problem that we're having with her is that when Sophia leaves, Honey lodges complaints in many different ways. Mm-hmm. And she's angry with Sophia when she comes back, and sometimes takes it out on Sophia's roommate as well. Like, she'll hang out with Sophia or with Ashley, but when Sophia and Ashley are together, she gets mad at both of them. Like, she pounces on them and, looks at them disappointed, and she thinks that's her house. She's very feisty, and I don't know if all black cats are like this, but Honey definitely feels like she rules the roost, and if she doesn't like what you're doing, she's going to let you know. But she's the only cat in the house, and I think she might be lonely when they leave. No?
Doesn't want another cat.
She doesn't want another cat. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah,
no
I don't think
other
she
cat.
wants another cat. I mean, a fish, like something that's not taking any space, like something she could watch and look at, she might really be happy about.
Okay, that's
Little
a really
fish
good
tank,
suggestion.
One of those fighter fish. Because I feel like she doesn't want to be left. and she says it could get hairy. I wrote that, hairy.
Yeah, she'll scratch.
Yeah. She said, I rip stuff. And I said, you rip stuff? And I thought it was cords and plants and stuff, but it's
she
people.
has.
Oh, okay, good.
She has done that as well. She got our curtains pretty good at our house because she comes over for Sunday dinner. And she knows she's at our house when she's let out for Sunday dinner. And she greets everyone and we pet her and love on her. And I think she's a little mad sometimes when she leaves and goes back to Sophia's. But then when she's at Sophia's, she's fine. So she goes back and forth every week. So we've watched her for a couple weeks when she was like a new cat, like a junior cat when she first got her. And I could feel how much she missed Sophia. And she grew attached to us then and then went back to Sophia's. I don't know if the back and forth is hard on her or not, but she seems happy when she's here.
Loves it. No, she loves going back and forth. I think she's going to spend a lot more time with you, Allison. But I wanted you to know that the ripping of your drapes I was just being a cat. I wasn't being destructive. Well, she just was being
You're
pretty.
Right. She thought she was jumping up and just hanging on him and then went,
fun. She said it was fun. It was so much fun. I loved it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, because she's showing me nice material like silk or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice. It was fragile. Joe's laughing so hard. I'm sorry. He had a question. Okay. I think it might be something normal, but maybe not. She is a rescue, and she had to go on special food because she'd get like kidney stones. And so she's on her special food and everything, but sometimes she'll still pee like on beds, when they're gone. That's a huge thing to do.
That's a commentary of itself.
Okay.
That's not like, I don't feel good, I'm going to pee on the bed. I'm pissed, I'm peeing on your bed.
That's what I thought. Yes.
Yeah, she's very in charge. And she wants everybody to know that at certain times she doesn't like everything. Yeah. So when she pees on the bed, when is that? When they leave her?
Yes.
Okay. I would close the bedroom doors.
I've told her that.
But her roommate, they forget, right?
Her roommate forgot and came home and her bedspread was not in good condition anymore. So, and it seemed like a territorial show of dominance in the apartment. I thought she even did it in Sophia had a laundry basket with clothes in it. And she went right in the basket and made herself at home. So it's been something that's been, and she wasn't like this as a kitten. She was very lovey, very cuddly, and she turned into a teenager and just became sort of a hellion, really. Joe's laughing. She just is.
A lot of it too, sometimes it's like a female teenager. It's like the same thing, and then they get through that. But I have to tell you, your daughter's roommate's a little afraid of her, and she knows it. Yeah. She said she feels that fear in her, and she kind of takes advantage and being cheeky.
Okay.
So
I'm writing all this down.
She said she's not, well, you'll have it on your podcast, but she's saying that she wishes she wasn't afraid of her. Maybe she could not be afraid, but I said to Honey, well, if you've hurt her and pounced and scratched her and gotten her frightened, it's going to be hard for her to trust you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she said, she just looked at me and she goes kind of okay. Mm-hmm. She's
I'll take that into consideration.
Yeah, but she's trying to be better, but she likes coming to your place.
Yeah, she does. And my friend Tom, I think you know Tom McMullen, that's the astrologer friend of mine.
I don't know him, but his stuff sounds amazing.
Oh, he's great. I have to introduce the two of you. He and Rodney, his partner, come over every Sunday for family dinner. And they are cat whisperers as well. So they call her up and they pet her, and she they've got magic. I'm telling you, she goes right to them and she's right with them. So she likes guys. She definitely likes guys.
And before you asked about the black cat thing, it's huge. It's a real thing. It's not just black cats and witches. It's like real. They really are.
I see memes on Instagram. I'm like, oh my God, it's a thing. They're all like that.
No, it's real. It's real. When I had this big tomcat, I named it Diva, and then I realized it was a boy, and I called it Devo.
What you gonna do?
That dog, it was a dog cat, big tomcat, and I was crazy about that cat. And it's like when I had to put him to sleep, I just had to wear my Versace belt. It was like a big thing, you know. I had to look the part. I was his mother. And like a few weeks after he passed, I had this really visceral, it was very much at the beginning of my awakening. I had this visceral dream. He was spinning in my third eye and it was uncomfortable. And he was spinning and spinning and spinning. And when I finally was able to wake up, I looked at my ceiling and it was like clouds on my ceiling. It was really spiritual. And it was like shortly after that, I was like suddenly psychic. I probably was like this my whole life, but I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a cat that I adopted when I was 4. I picked him out for my 4th birthday at the pound. And I think he was one of the ones they were going to put down. And this is when they didn't give them to you in a box. They just sort of hand them to you. And so I'm like wrestling him in the back of the station wagon. But I'm like, I love you, Sammy. Like I named him Sammy right away. I knew that's what his name had to be. He used to sleep with my dog, Mister, who was a Weimaraner, and they were best friends. So it's interesting to see how some cats are dog people and some aren't. And some just don't want to be around other cats at all.
But they're like people. See?
Yeah.
Some people connect.
Yeah.
Like, I adore you.
Thank
but I
you.
don't connect with everyone.
Right.
It's just, I stick to I stick to who I
You
feel
vibe
good
with.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to go, and it's just like that with the animal kingdom.
So we tried to introduce Honey to my daughter Fallon, who is the most gentle hedge witch out there, who has a corporate job. And she took her dog for a walk, who she rescued. And a cat was following her and followed her home. And she called me and she goes, Mom, what do I do? And I said, let it in and feed it. Like, I'm always that 4-year-old little girl. I'm like, let it in.
Yeah,
and
sure.
so she bathed her, she shampooed her, fed her, made her theirs. And I call her Annie. Her name's Anastasia, but I call her Annie. And Annie, we tried to put Annie and Honey together. Annie's a Maine Coon, and Honey was not having it.
No, Honey wants to be the ruler of the roost.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that. So that's just going to have to stay that way. She doesn't seem bothered by dogs, though. She doesn't see them as some sort of competition.
No, she sees them as like, she's very like above that in her cat
exactly.
brain. She's very talkative. Like I didn't have to send her a lot of love. The minute I opened up that photo that Joe sent me, it was like, she didn't stop.
She's very meowsy, very needing attention. She's definitely knows who she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Sophia adopted her because she went into PetSmart to adopt a cat, unbeknownst to us, at Christmas. And all of Honey's siblings had already been adopted. And she was the one that was left behind.
The best one, though.
And so Sophia was like, I couldn't leave her mom. So that's who Honey's mom is. She's very gentle, but she's very self-absorbed at 24, but she sleeps with Honey and loves Honey. And, she's very doting, but she does like to travel. And that
I need to tell you something.
Been a problem. Mm-hmm.
You might not love what I'm going to say, but you're going to end up with Honey full time.
I think my husband's secretly happy, but we had cats for 28 years. And after our last kitty Daisy died, I can't do it. I'm like, I don't want any more cats. And I told Sophia, I said, you're not ready. to adopt a cat, you travel, you're not ready. She was like, but I need one. And so she got one.
That's what parents do. They take care of their children's animals. It's your grandchild. So, there's many parents that call me and say, I got stuck, but then they're in love with the pet. I got stuck. My daughter went to college and I'm stuck now.
Yeah. Yeah. Why did we have 3 kids, Joe? I'm just kidding. So we told her we'd watch Honey, though, for her when she goes out of town. So at least she has a place where Honey's comfortable being. But yeah, that cat's not like any cat I ever had. But I usually had Maine Coons or orange tabbies or gray tabbies. I've never had a full black cat. I had a tuxedo that was an outdoor cat, huh?
I've always wanted an orange cat.
I love orange cats. When they get chubby, they look like little basketballs.
Yeah, they're adorable. But when you said, why did we have 3 kids, Joe? I literally heard your dad say, the best is yet to come.
Oh, we're done having kids for sure, though.
No, I know, but the best is yet to come. Okay. I don't know. Interpret that, because I heard your dad say, best is yet to come.
Yeah. Yeah, the grandchildren explosion. Pause, waiting. We're like comfortable not having to do anything right now. I just got done touring. It's calm. It's so calm. I'm so glad that we had this reading. I'm just kidding. No, this really helps. I'm going to go over this with Sophia. And I know you said, well, the podcast recorded it. Sophia is basically, it's the day before St. Patrick's Day when we're recording this. She's basically out St. Patty's day drinking with Ashley right now, her roommate, just waiting to hear all the details about Honey. And so I had to take notes. She can't wait until Tuesday.
Oh, how sweet. I love it.
This actually really helps. Thank you, because it gives me some boundaries for the cat so that the cat can't articulate it, so that Sophia knows what Honey's boundaries are. And I think that's really important. So this is just such a good example of why animal readings, the communication, is so helpful, because it helps us to understand where they're coming from. But yeah, they're going to have to close their doors for sure at her apartment. So, but Sophia wanted a cat. She got a cat. We're teaching her responsibility. Right, Joe?
She needs to get a fish.
She needs a fish. Yeah, we'll get her a fish. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, thank you.
So welcome.
That was amazing and helpful in every way. So, do you have any interesting new projects coming up?
I'm doing a St. Patty's Day event. Well, you're going to air this later. I do my gallery of 8s. Everybody gets a reading. I do my group events, and I really want to do my animal retreats where there's tons of animals where I live. So they're just like walking deer down the street, wild turkeys. I had a conversation with the deer. I'm like, why don't you just go? Because she was walking across the street and she was so hesitant. And I said, what's wrong? They're really mean to me. The wild turkeys apparently are very vicious to the deer, but the deer wanted to get where the wild turkeys were eating.
Must be some good food.
Getting back to my projects, events on my website under
so they
events.
can go to your website for all those events.
I have group readings. I have smaller readings, where everybody gets a reading, and then I have my privates.
Okay, so what's your website? Is it
SusanAllenMedium.com.
No slashes, nothing. Just
just Susan Allen Medium.
SusanAllenMedium.com. Okay.
And then on Instagram, I'm at Susan Allen Medium.
Susan Allen Medium. So everybody go to Instagram, follow Susan, especially if you love your cats and dogs, and maybe you'll have a reading with her yourself. And I actually kind of loved that. So again, thank you.
So
Thank you to Susan Allen for being here today. And thank you to my listeners. Tune in next week for a fresh episode of The Dead Life. I'm Allison DuBois. This is The Dead Life. And to all of my believers out there, don't stop believing.